I messed up really bad and said something awful to my boyfriend when I was drunk, and I'm not sure we'll be able to come back from this. Before I get started, I just want to say I know I messed up and I am the jerk here. My boyfriend is a wonderful human being who loves me and only deserves the best. Okay, so like I said, I, 29 female, have a wonderful boyfriend, 28 male, and we live together. He had a bit of a rough time with finding work, and he started a job at the post office where he works very hard and works 40 to 60 hours a week. I'm only saying this next part because it's necessary to the situation, but I make more than he does and work less hours than him, and we're struggling with some unexpected finances right now and it's been causing some tension between us. Last night I went to a bar with some co-workers and I stayed out later than I should have and came home at 2:30 in the morning pretty drunk. My boyfriend was up waiting for me and told me he was worried about me, and I asked why he stayed up, and he told me he was waiting for me and I shouldn't be out that late on a night when I have work the next day. I don't know why this set me off, but I got very angry and told him he had no right giving me job advice since he doesn't have a real job and can't even afford to pull his weight like a loser. He told me he thought I should go to bed and walked me over to my room and helped me get my shoes and dress off, and I just got in bed and lied down to go to sleep. But the worst part was, as I was drifting off, I heard him crying in the bathroom. When I woke up this morning, he had gone to work and now I'm at work hungover, which sucks. However, I have no idea what to say to him now. He should be home tonight, but I don't know what I can do at this point to let him know how sorry I am and how much I do admire him and was just acting out of drunken stress last night. He loves steak and potatoes and he's also a big movie guy, so I was thinking of making him steak and potatoes and renting a movie, but I just don't know. Any advice would be appreciated. Update 5 days later, so I've been meaning to write this for 4 days, but I have just been completely wiped of all emotional bandwidth. My boyfriend is working hard at his job right now and is racking up some overtime, so I figured I'd take a moment to post it. In case anyone didn't notice, I don't respond well to alcohol. I have no dependency on it, but my self-control and decision-making is really not good when I'm drunk, and I just get extremely vicious and it brings out the absolute worst in me. On that same note, I had a group of co-workers who have been wanting to celebrate a promotion one of us got for the past 2 months, and Sunday was the first time any of us were free, so we were just gonna have a Sunday afternoon chill that was gonna end before 10. However, one bad decision led to another and we all just collectively stayed until 2 a.m. with drinks. Secondly, I said what I did out of an annoyance and upset feelings I had with him regarding some financial decisions over the past 2 years that we're now reaping the benefits of. Long story that frankly doesn't matter because it's not about that. I'm still a little unhappy about it and I expressed that in a very unhealthy manner. I'm so proud of him for finding a job and trying to provide for us. Now for the update. I read through the comments all afternoon and then I wrote down a map of the things I wanted to say and waited for him to get home. Additionally, I got in contact with my old therapist and he was able to squeeze me in for the following morning, so I called out of work the next day to meet him. My boyfriend finally came through the door and I asked if we could talk, and he said I could, but he also had some things to say. I started by saying I had no idea what to say to express how sorry I am, except that I shouldn't have said what I said and I love him and admire him for how hard he works. I also told him that I was going to stop drinking and I had an appointment with my therapist the next day. I also emphasized how much I appreciated how he waited for me and helped me get to bed after I came home and how he absolutely didn't deserve what I said. He told me that I actually covered the bases of what he was going to say. He said he was very hurt by what I said, but throughout the day he was thinking and said it was so out of character for me he actually started to get worried. Both of his parents were alcoholics at one point in his life but got sober, and he told me he was going to tell me I needed to quit drinking and see a therapist or anger management counselor or else he couldn't stay in this relationship. I told him I thought that was a very fair and sensible boundary and I would do my best to do whatever I could. Then he asked if I could be honest and asked me if I meant what I said. I told him I was being purposely vicious because it came from a place of frustration, but I was intentionally trying to upset him, so I said something terrible things. He said he'd love to talk to me about that place of frustration but then wasn't the time for it. But he told me that he forgave me and was really happy and admired that I'm taking the right steps to make things better, and we had a lovely long hug. Then I had a really emotional appointment with my therapist, and I told him everything that happened, and he helped me map out my feelings and how to express them to my boyfriend. The appointment went great and I have another next week, but he thinks I should look into seeing a psychiatrist because I may very well have an undiagnosed mental health condition. That's the next step, definitely. On Wednesday, I had a sit down with my boyfriend where I expressed the frustrations and he told me my feelings were valid and frankly he still kicks himself he didn't start a new job earlier too because then his credit card debt probably wouldn't be so high, and he talked about how he's always felt like he let me down with his financial decisions being unemployed for such long periods of time. I won't get into it any further, but we had a really productive conversation. So yeah, we're taking steps and are openly communicating with each other and it looks like we're gonna be okay. We've been snuggling together at night and this morning we even showered together before he went to work. I have some trust issues, so I'm still very anxious he's going to come back and be like, wait, actually no, I don't forgive you, but he's promised me he's going to be open with how he feels, which he has been. I think we're gonna be okay.